Welcome back to River Rat Garage. Today we are going to compare a Buddy L, a Structo, and a Tonka truck and see the differences within them. From the surface, the average person would think that they're pretty much the same truck, but there's quite a few differences here. First, let's go with the Buddy L. As you can see, it right off the bat, it has a little bit of a hood scoop where none of the others do. And as you can see, it's pretty to look at them. They look somewhat alike. They have the white wall tires and the hubcaps on this one here. As you can see, the Buddy L insignia that helps you identify what it is. Let's look the underside of this thing, and here's what the underside of it looks. And it has stuff on it. And as we go to the next one real quick, this here's the Structo, and here we go again with the white wall tires that are on these. I'm using unrestored, completely original trucks. That way, I can't say, oh, well, he modified these things. This is exactly the way they are before getting restored. And as you can see, get this thing a little heavy, and the differences, of course, the front end is quite a bit different. Where this one here kind of favors like a 1959-60 Ford. This here tends to be just kind of a generic front end. It has the bumper and grill both molded together, where this one here does not. And of course, here, let's get over to the Tonka, and as you can see, its bumper is not molded in either. And so here we go. Let's go ahead and get the front tires on this one here too. Here's what the front end of a Tonka looks like. And it, of course, has a lot of the same features of as all three of these do have a early Ford. I'm going to say what year. I think that's 57 to 63, if I remember right. I have to, don't question me on that. But anyway, I just kind of a lot of that similarities to the Fords of that time, which were very popular. Now let's just go to the windshield and see the difference here. As you can see, these windshields are pretty standard. This one here is a little bit different. This Structo has actually looks like the windows halfway rolled down, and that's another difference that you can see between it and a Tonka. And the Buddy L has a wing window and the halfway rolled up window, which is kind of unique to them. Once again, these trucks are unrestored, and I will get around to restoring them someday. But let's just look at the hubcaps. As you can see, it has a little, what would be an S there on it. No, that's not an S, that's a D, B. And they're regular flat hubcaps. And this here has the S on it. Very similar hubcaps, very, very similar. Where the Tonka has more of a heavier duty looking hubcap to it, more of a semi truck thing of the time. Now they all have like similar tires. If you look at the tires, you can see that they all have the kind of the snow tire looking thing. And let's just take a look at the back end of this. The fenders on this one here, of course the other twos don't have fenders on them, rear fenders on. They all different. I should have went ahead and used three very similar trucks, but I decided I'd just spotlight all these different ones from essentially a similar year. Now this here, this one here is the Structo is, as you put them side by side, length, I got the fronts all the same, and you see that the Structo is a little bit longer, a little bit wider, not much wider than the Tonka, but quite a bit more than the Buddy L. The undersides of them are all very, very similar, as you can see. And the Tonka one, not very good picture. There's the hydraulics for the dump truck part, which I would flip, but it's kind of a bear to get back down. And which one of these here is more detailed? Well, let's be real. The Buddy L, to me, is just a little bit more detailed in that it has more of what you would expect in the hubcaps, and it has a little bit of indentation on the top to kind of give it more of a look. And of course, it has a cool hood scoop in it that we all love. But you know, the front end to me is a little bit more. Well, I'll just say more better. How's that for a little bit of a? This one here looks way too generic. Doesn't really grab you, although the hood is kind of cool. And this one here, a lot more detail involved in it, but there again, kind of generic. It does say Tonka on it, which is kind of nice. None of these came with an interior. I don't think. Listen here did. The Structo did have an interior in it, and this one here does not. So here we go. The Structo has more of a detailed interior in that it does at least have one. Now Tonka, if you get into the repos, people who repaint them and stuff, this is all usually just stickers. And of course this here is original, as that's what I wanted to spotlight, a totally original truck for you guys to look at and to see why Tonka probably endured a lot longer than the other two. It's just a little bit more heavier duty. It is heavy. Both of these here are somewhat heavy for a metal vehicle. The Buddy L is a little bit lighter, but there again, you know, it's smaller. And yeah, the Tonka, as far as which one of these held up the best, well, you know, I don't know what environment all of them were living in when before I got a hold of them. I bought them. I was going to restore them, and but you know, let's not do that. I might buy the rear fencing for the back end to finish this out. This one here, the everything seems to be there. The little bent just a little bit, but you know, the dump truck tailgate's still there, which is good. Hydraulics is still in it. The things on top here need to be replaced, but you know, I'm not gonna go out of my way to repaint them or even put in new windshields, although all that stuff is available. You can get it. I can replace all the tires and the white walls and the hubcaps on that, but you know, let's be real. They're only original ones, and they're not what a lot of people would consider the best shape. But let's just talk about that for a few minutes. Sometimes original is the best. You know, will I replace a front bumper on this? You know, no. Only because, you know, every toy has a story, and let's just talk about that for a few minutes. You know, it ain't bent up. It tweaked a little bit. But you know, it still looks good and it'll look great on the shelf. These things are toys that have been played with, and yes, I could easily uh, tear them apart, get all new restored parts and put on it, get new stickers for it and all that. But you know, is it going to be worth more? Maybe. You know, these things right now are probably, you know, in the $50 range each, maybe. And you know, if I restore them, then you know, is it going to really raise the value of them? And that's another problem we have with toys and with cars. Cars in general. Is an original, you know, whatever it is, better than a restored? You know, kind of falls into condition. This is what the toys that we played with as kids looked like. They looked like this. You know, they were played with. They were scratched. You know, a lot of them didn't have the windshields in them or broken up windshields, which all three of these have good windshields. You know, that's kind of one of the things I might think about is maybe pulling the windshields out and cleaning them up to where they're a little bit better to see through. But you know, that's, you know, then you start something like that, then I got to replace the hubcaps or the white walls, because this is, as you can see, this here is rough shape. And you know, um, here we go into the dilemmas of things. And but yeah, all three of them kind of do what they need to do. I'd like to get the new top for this here, and that way it'll be complete. And I'm thinking that they had a fold down. I don't have this particular one, a fold down thing or doors that open to you know, allow the your horses or whatever, cattle or whatever you decide to haul in this thing. And this in here is good, but you know, I don't want to get involved in changing the originality of this particular one. The white walls on this side are rough, as you can see. The hubcaps are, let's just say, they're gone. The tires are still pretty good. You know, surprisingly, these tires don't look like they've been really rolled around a whole lot. And on this one here, you know, it has some wear, but you know, that's to be expected. And you know, the white walls on this one here are okay, they're rough, but you know, the fact that, you know, they exist, and I like the made in USA part of this, because something that's kind of hard to remember that these things are actually made in the United States. A lot of I don't think you can find any Tonka or any pressed steel toy to start off with, but any toy anymore being made in the USA, really, to speak of. And these are made, and the fine people who made these, you can tell that they actually cared about these vehicles and really built them very, very well. The designers did a great job on making something that the kids will be able to play with for generations. And I'm talking generations here, because this is probably, these are all dating back to, you know, the early 60s. So let's just talk about that. That's 40, 60 years ago, guys. These things are 60 years old. And here they are sitting on my kitchen table, and I'm just looking at them, making a little video about them. But anyway, I just wanted to do a little bit of a comparison video about these different trucks that most of us people played with as youngsters, and having all three of them together as a just as a comparison. So that way, if you come walking up and you see one of these, you'll know that hey, that's a Buddy L, that's a Structo, and that's a Tonka. Because a lot of people just call them Tonkas, because, well, a lot of people don't remember the Buddy L's or the Structos especially. And I'm sure there's other brands that are out there that if I go up in the attic and go searching, I'll probably find some more that were built also during that time frame, and similar bodies. But these here are probably the big three at the time. And yeah, I like all three. All three of them have their own merit about them, and they are not. I'm not planning on restoring them. I could easily. I have restored a few Tonkas, but you know, I I find that I kind of like the just the way they originally look. Just this is the toy we played with. This, whoa, we almost lost that one. This is what we played with. You know, we can get the paint and do all that, sand it down, get the stickers and all that stuff, and the white walls and all that. You know, you can get all this stuff, and they look good on the shelf. But you know, it really falls into what is it that you want? What is it that you want to play with? And these things here, you know, you can play with them all day long and not worry about them because they're built. I mean, they are built tough. And I'm thinking that a lot of this reproduction stuff that you get, like this front grill, is now made out of plastic. And let's be honest, you know, you go hammering into each other a few times, and you know, it'd be, or you drop it off the shelf or whatever. No, and yeah, I would have to not do that. You know, what's kind of unique about all three of these, I don't know if you know this for a fact, but before 1958, you couldn't get like 4 headlights in vehicles at that point. And so that tells me that these here are post 1958. And from 58 on, you could put 4 headlights in the car. But before that, you couldn't. I don't know why or what the reasoning was for that. And I would think it would be more of a safety thing to have them actually have 4 headlights, or even more for that matter. But you know, you couldn't get 4 headlights. You know, you look at a 57 Chevy and compare it to a 58 Chevy, which the 58s had 4 headlights and the 57 only had one, 57 and before. And so yeah, these kind of a little bit of a time capsule. Of course, just the old round headlights that they have, and I'm kind of date these things as being a little bit more older, because you know, when's the last time you, I don't know the actual last time that they sold a car with sealed beam headlights on them. I'm going to be honest, I don't know that. And so here we are, we're looking at them. This here has better view of it. And oh, that's bad. Let's get it back in focus. And so that's what we're talking about there. These are, all three of these are great little vehicles. I picked them up over time and just looking at maybe restoring them, and I kind of decided against that a little bit. And anyway, so I might get the parts that they need. You know, let's be real. Let's make these things complete. You know, even if the parts you can get them, you know, either eBay or wherever, or really just stumble across some at garage sales, and make them complete. I'd like to do that, but I'm not going to sand them or powder bluff or whatever you want to call it to get the rust off and try to make them what they're not. You know, they are played with toys that many children over the years have enjoyed, and that's what we want. And this is what they are, and for generations to come. Maybe here 30, 40 years from now, somebody will be doing a video about these very same 3 trucks and putting it on YouTube. And it's just interesting to see the differences between the 3. Anyway, well, like and subscribe to River Rat Garage, and we'll have another video about some of the other, and I have a huge collection of toys, by the way, and other stuff for that matter, that I can that's out of my own personal collection, or for something that you had as a kid and like to see a little video on it, just a little something to reminisce about, and say, tell your friends, hey, I used to have a, well, just say, I used to have a Tonka dunk truck. There it is. You can look at it and you say, oh yeah, I remember this. I remember that. That's what this channel is really all about. And it's just fun to look at and enjoy. Anyway, well, thanks a lot. Like and subscribe.